Hello, how you doing? Craig, me. Craig, me. Me, Craig, you audience. Nice to see you. And I woke up this morning. That's why I look like I just have woken up. And it is still 7 o'clock. It's not even 7 yet. And I'm up and I'm shouting. Because you open your iPad and there's like something thrown at you. So what was thrown at me was an interview from last month with Patrick Stewart promoting Picard. What I thought I might do is just step through the interview and make and share with you my comments. Some of them you'll agree with, some of them you won't. But I'm going to do it anyway. So this is the show. If you don't know it, it's a show in the UK called This Morning. The chap in the pink shirt on the left is Philip Schofield, and the lady on the right is Holly Willoughby. And I just found it quite interesting. Let's have a listen.
Engage.
Oh, there's music there. I have to go.
Welcome. It is so lovely to have
There
you.
he is.
Thank you so much.
Well
Thank
shaven.
you. It's you may think this is a little bit unreliable
Hollywood star Patrick Stewart. It's not from Hollywood.
of me, but
I guess he is a
love
Hollywood
hearing
star now.
those voices again and looking at those sets as they are, because it was such a huge part of my life. And
Right. So
important.
just to clarify this up, he's actually going to tell you in a minute about a story about his agent. But it was a huge part of his life. I think it ran for 7 seasons. So God knows how many years that involved in terms of pre-production and stuff. But this was I think, because I was kind of into, well, was I? I mean, are we really? I mean, certainly people my age, the people who are sort of into things like Star Trek and geeks, we weren't really aware of theatre actors. But of course, Hollywood was, and Gene Roddenberry was.
part of my
Or
life.
found out about him, at least.
I've got to say this, actually. Also, is this building. I come here maybe once a year, but I love coming here because there was a time when I was coming here every day.
So the building is, I can't remember the name of it, but ITV building is on the banks of the Thames. It's on the South Bank, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's not the BBC Television Centre building. It's the enemy.
You'd always have me on your show every week. And,
Well, it's a book.
Just Google it. He's on the show every year.
Yes. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
We'll
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
get to
Right.
that.
Sorry.
when
I
you
just
worked-
clipped over it. He's bringing out a book, his memoirs, which he apparently wanted to be 2 books, 2 volumes of them. It's okay, Sir Patrick.
Obviously, thinking about this final bit and how it was going to go, it was really important to you that this wasn't going to be simply a sort of reunion of
This
sorts.
is getting interesting.
Absolutely. It was the most important thing. It was critical to me because if it was just going to be an anniversary, a reunion, oh, how wonderful, oh, and all that kind of thing. No.
No. Oh, no. It's exactly what it was in the end. It ends with just a massive reunion. And you've never seen so much fan pleasuring than what they did. And it was great, actually. I loved it. When they're all sat around in the ready room and they're all giving their little speeches and their memories. And then they do it again when they're on the bridge of the Enterprise D. It was well done, really well done. Maybe a little bit overdone in places, but it's all right. We enjoyed it, and it's exactly what it was. In fact, we could have done with a lot of none of the other stuff. But what he's going to do is talk a little bit about how he's changed as a person. Therefore, the character of Picard must have changed as a person.
That's not what Star Trek was ever about. And I said, I want you to move as far away as possible from the primary elements of Next Generation. Because
Isn't it interesting how he... Think of the arc of his first days in this... when he's like a poor actor with the RSC, because even though he was with the Royal Shakespeare Company, by his own admission, he's broke. And he gets offered this job at Star Trek. He would have no power there. He couldn't sit and say, this is what, okay, I'll be in your show, and this is what, Gene Roddenberry, this is what I want you to do with the show. He can't call the shots. And now here he is calling the shots, telling them, this is what I want you to do if you want me back in it. This is what happens with celebrity. You get so much power. And in terms of producing and writing, it's all stripped away from you. It's not down to you anymore. Well, it is to a certain extent because you have to pitch it to this guy, the actor. And he becomes executive producer and whatever. And you see this all the time. Like, look at any episode like Seinfeld or anything like that. Well, maybe not Seinfeld because he pretty much owned that show right off the bat. But the shows where the actors are kind of like, this is their first big acting job. By season 3, they're executive producers and they've got a say. And it's interesting, but it's kind of the start of the end, I think, when that happens.
Because I know that in the time lag, which I think was 19 years, I changed. I became a different person. My life in many ways got turned upside down or the right way up. And I said the same thing must have happened to all our heroes.
So I'm trying to think of what happened to Picard. His life pretty much got turned upside down in the series, and all of their lives did kind of much. We were actually witnessing their lives changing and seeing them growing out of that. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about. I mean, I kind of am, but we know the character that Worf was at the start of, the Next Generation's different to who he was by the end of it. You know, he was a warrior and he was like, much more tapped into being a Klingon. By the end of it, he'd kind of been more assimilated into like the Starfleet way of working. And it's the same with all the characters. Look at the growth of Data from being I cannot compute, I do not understand, to like, creating his own daughter and having emotion chips put in him. And then, of course, you got Beverly Crusher, who lost her son throughout the show. Geordie LaForge, they tried their best with him, trying to find him like a love interest, and he was like failing at doing that. But everyone was having their woes and growing as a character within the show. So it was never static or stagnant. I don't really know what he's talking about.
The same people. Well, they embraced that, and what they came up with was extraordinary. I mean, your case...
It was unbelievable. It was extraordinary. That's a good word for when you hate something. Extraordinary.
I think particularly in the case of Worf,
yes,
the Klingon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a different man.
He was the polar opposite. They made him a pacifist, but what's funny about the thing is they made him like a funny character, didn't they? Because he says I'm a pacifist, but he's the one who does all the killing, brutal, like hand-on-hand combat. Sticking his batleth through people's bodies and brutal murders committed by Worf. I don't know. I'm a pacifist.
Because he had experiences that changed him and made him feel he had to live a different kind of life.
Actors are very good at doing this discerning pitch, aren't they? Because he's like this, and so it's kind of convincing, isn't it? But if you listen to what he's just saying, it's kind of like, don't know.
Yeah,
mate.
I mean, Dr. Crusher is another one. So I think that's been one of the great strengths
Well, basically, everyone looks old.
Of Picard, and it's one that makes me feel quite proud.
Right, go back to the very, very...
So I just want to comment on, if you listen to the sound of Patrick's voice, I just wanted to flag this as well, because I'm kind of thinking that in Picard, he's actually acting older than he is. He's straining his voice more. You can't do that. And all that. Because when he's talking here on the sofa, he sounds quite assertive and, just more like Patrick Stewart's voice.
Very beginning, when the role was first offered to you, was it your children that encouraged you
now,
to do it?
listen to this story.
It was. It all came about when I was visiting California for a few weeks and giving lectures and talking and master classes.
So this is when he's an unknown sort of Royal Shakespeare Company actor. Now, I remember Patrick Stewart when I was a little kid. There used to be a show on TV. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like acting masterclasses, and it would have some actors in their jeans and shirts and just reading Shakespeare, and there'd be a director there guiding them through how to interpretations of Shakespeare, and it was really good. And I remember him being in it a lot. There's not much money in being an actor or a theatre actor, never has been. So films like the X-Men and Star Trek, that's what you want. And I think he kind of explains that's why he did it.
my Hollywood agent, whom I had never met or talked to. He was just there, just in case, unlikely, anything came up, he would be the man to handle it. And he said, okay, I've got 2 questions for you. What were you doing at UCLA last night? And why would Gene Roddenberry want to see you this morning?
It's a very rude agent.
Creator of the series.
Of course, thanks, Phil.
Legendary creator, may he rest in peace.
Yes, may he.
And I would see that they were watching this series with these guys all in different coloured T-shirts.
Yeah,
And I had no idea what it was. except
Fuddy-duddy.
I remember it was Stargate or
Star Trap.
Would you have...
No, sorry, I know I'm talking over it. I have to for transformative reasons. They will slam me with a copyright claim if I don't do it. Even though I'm keeping it all windowed and you can see it, I'm watching it on YouTube. But I forgot what I was going to say because I was so distracted by my own downfall on YouTube that I
ever
forgot
believe then?
the
So
content.
once your children had sort of introduced it and you were watching it just because you were wanting it to watch something with them, that you would still be talking about it now?
No, I never believed it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So when did it start? Star Trek Next Generation, what was it, 87 or something like that? So Patrick Stewart, I don't know. Alexa, how old was Patrick Stewart in 1987? He was 47 years old. And he's like, people in red and yellow shirts. Alexa, stop. People in red and yellow shirts. It's kind of, he knew full well what Star Trek was. Come on. Storyteller.
No. The fact that I even talked about it for a few days back then seemed improbable and unlikely to me. And in fact, I was told by my Hollywood agent.
I took it to see
said
India.
To me when I learned that it was a 6-year contract I had to sign.
Oh, no way, sir.
I said, no, I can't do that,
No.
I've got some theatre plans.
Yeah.
And they said,
I'm an actor. I have theatre. It's like, yeah, but they're going to pay loads of money. All right, then.
look, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, that's true.
6 years. You'd be lucky to make it through the first season. That's what I was told.
Wow.
You cannot revive
brutal.
an iconic series like this. You just can't do that. You
can't do it.
It's not going to work out.
This is a very, very pushy agent that he's never met, isn't it?
Come here, make a bit of money for the first time in your
Bit
life.
of money, bit of supper, bit of money.
Yeah.
Get
A lot of money. They didn't say you make a little tiny bit of money. No, you're going to make a little gallon load of money. They're offering you a fortune. I'd love to know what it was. Does anyone know how much the actors got paid? None of our business. But let's talk about it anyway.
and go home.
And that was it.
And that was
That
it.
was it.
I mean, the fan base is huge. I mean, you look at those conventions, the Star Trek conventions, you know.
Yeah, that's not really fully representative of the fan base. That there's a difference between like fanatics and people like me. I've been to these events and they do my nutting. I can't stand. You know what? Sorry. Star Trek conventions. The thing that does my nutting about Star Trek conventions is they're vulgar. You go in, you buy a ticket to meet a celebrity, and you pay 35 quid, and then you queue up and you meet them, and you give them your ticket, and they sign it, and it's all just a bit vulgar. It's like, you know, they're trying desperately to avoid you giving cash to the actual actor because that's the vulgarity. They try and alleviate the vulgarity, and for me, it was just all a bit. It spoilt it for me seeing my heroes like taking handouts like that. I don't want to see that. I'd like them just to want to meet us, and it'd be nice if we could just do it. It'd be nice if we could do it for free, and I guess that you can't. So everything gets monetized, doesn't it? So there was that, and then there was like the I can't understand the fun of cosplay, but I've never really kind of got it. Especially, I think like seeing kids dressed up as these characters is fine, but I kind of like it gets a bit weird for me when it's people like my age doing it. All right.
Thousands and thousands of people. I mean, the response is incredible.
Wonderful. This is where it has to be really nice to the fans.
Be very excited.
Because they know.
Memoir. I mean,
because,
you must
by the
have
way,
so many
these
stories.
guys turn very nasty if you're not
This
nice
must
to
be
them.
enough for about 3 books. This has got to be like part 1, surely.
There was a time when we were actually talking about 2 volumes,
Yeah.
but it's now.
When he says we, he means he was. I've done Shakespeare. It's like first volume's Shakespeare. My Shakespeare years that nobody's interested in. All anyone wants to know about is you in Star Trek and Picard. Maybe
That'll be
X-Men.
just one. But
Okay.
Well, there's so much that you can put in because
The
obviously
X-Men films were not well
people
received.
see you, as X-Men and Star Trek, but you were saying that you'd have matinees as a Shakespearean actor, and there is this
They're being very
enormous
generous here.
wealth of work, and I think everyone was quite surprised, bearing in mind who had played the captain before, that a Shakespearean actor, almost like with deep apologies to everybody else who may have played the role, but like a serious actor.
Oh. It's almost like this is a briefing from a PR person that Patrick really wasn't. I don't think he wants to be remembered for doing Picard. I think he wants to be remembered for being an actor, a quality actor. And I don't think that is going to happen. I think he's always going to be remembered for being Picard. Maybe Professor X. Exactly.
Be going in to do something like that.
And yet,
I
quickly found that the experiences that I'd had on the Royal Shakespeare Company stage were perfect and ideal for putting me into the captain's uniform. And
you see, I'm suspicious because you hear like people like I can't remember Jonathan Frakes will often, they'll all talk about, and then this Patrick Stewart came on the stage and he's like Shakespearean actor in Royal Shakespeare Company. I don't think they'd heard of him. I'd be very surprised if they'd heard of him. But there's this reverence is given to this Sir Patrick appearing on the show, and it's almost like they were told it, and this guy is big. He's a proper actor, not like you guys. He's obviously got a few years on them. He would, I say, 47 years old, according to my friend over there. So he was kind of older, I guess, than everyone else. So there's that sort of respect towards his knowledge, and he does masterclasses. I guess this is from Gene Roddenberry. I guess Gene Roddenberry had to sell the fact that I've got this guy, Patrick Stewart, Royal Shakespeare Company. He come from England, and he's Royal Shakespeare, and he's like a brilliant actor. So I don't know if they'd ever seen it. They'd been told it, but not shown it. And now he's saying, well, yes, it really helped me bring something to the character. I think it probably did, actually. And I think that he would have had a big effect helping the other actors. It'd be interesting to know how much he held back and how much he didn't hold back from giving advice, if he's used to doing masterclasses, to the other actors about how to act.
Commanding the bridge of the Enterprise, exactly the same. And I've told this before, but it's significant. And the fact that the uniforms had no pockets anywhere. So you couldn't put your hands in them. You couldn't, keep some small change in there, anything.
Yeah, because they had small change in Starfleet. Oh, so he's talking about real life, isn't he? He's talking about, as an actor, you have your phone and stuff in your pocket when you're acting. It's like, well, okay.
Anything at all like that, because Elizabethan costume doesn't have pockets either.
No, it does not.
You can't put your hands in if you're just wearing tights.
That's
and a little...
So that's what Shakespeare, being an RSC actor, brought. I was used to not acting without pockets. No one else, no television actor knows anything about that.
Silly pants. And so I remember saying to my fellow actors, look, you just got to learn to let your arms hang by your side. And
well, there's the answer to my question. He did do that.
Relaxed looking, but actually it looks more confident if you can just do that.
Yeah.
And then he forgot about it all, because that's what happens when you get older. You forget. Look at that. Look at that bewildered face. Bless him. Sorry. Anyway, I've kind of done with the interview. Listen, that's way too long to be talking about a 9-minute interview. What are your thoughts about Sir Patrick Stewart, and him taking the role of Picard on, and the decision that he obviously led regarding the show, about it not being a reunion? I mean, I remember this, for example.
Something that I need to bring up. If that's okay.
Yeah, please.
I'm here with a formal invitation. And it's for you, Whoopi.
For me?
Whoopi.
Alex Kurtzman, who is the senior executive producer of Star Trek Picard, and all of his colleagues, of which I am one, want to invite you into the second season.
So, you know, it was a reunion, and I'm just not sure. I think that when we're doing the PR tours and stuff, we say things that, you know, we want to sell the show. And we're a little bit, we're massaging the truth a little bit. But yeah, it couldn't not be a reunion. They didn't, Leia and Han and Luke and everyone could have had a reunion in Star Wars, and they didn't do it. And it's soul destroying that they didn't do that when they could have done. And they had to do it with this, especially, I guess, when the ratings were coming through. Although there are many think that the whole arc of Picard was decided upon at the start. But I think there must have been a lot of changes because the season 1, season 2 were very badly received. Love to know your thoughts. I'm so sorry this video went on so long. I've got so much to say and I waffle. But that's just what you get. Have a lovely day. Cheers.
Fludded.